Boa tarde! We're at Porto de Barra Beach, one of Salvador's most famous beaches, and it's also famous internationally. The Guardian newspaper, the British newspaper, a few years ago voted it one of the 10 most beautiful urban beaches in the world. Urban beaches. And it's especially famous for its sunset, which will be happening very soon. People gather on the beach and wait for the sunset because, unlike the vast majority of beaches in Brazil, here, because of the way the peninsula that Salvador sits on is situated, the sun sets in front of you instead of behind you. So everybody loves to sit on the beach, watch the sunset, and when it sets, a huge round of applause goes out. And it's quite beautiful here. And you can see this Santa Maria fort. I believe it is an 18th century fort. And this jetty in front of it, you can see people dive from it. There's a few guys getting ready to dive right now. And this just really is a special beach. I spent a lot of time on it. Spent a lot of my crazy years here in Porto de Barra. I don't come here as often as I used to. I'm on the other side of this beach. It's called Porto de Barra, the Baja Lighthouse. And I preferred that side of Baja because I'm less well known there, and my past doesn't come back to haunt me. But I love this beach too. And as you can see, you just can't beat the sunset here at Porto de Barra Beach or the setting. And I'm still in Porto de Barra, and behind me, let's see, is the famous or the infamous Macau, a bar, outdoor or indoor type of bar, where I spent phase one of my decadent early years in Salvador, and had many wonderful times there. But you know, also drank one too many caipirinhas and became friends with one too many pivetes, street people of dubious legal status. And so people never forget here. Never, never, never. It doesn't matter that something happened 25 years ago. They will remind you when they run into you in a good-natured way. But, you know, I'm a few months short of 70, and that crazy phase of my life is long gone, long past, I should say. And I don't need to be reminded of it every time I come to this neighborhood. But someone from that long ago past never fails to see me and remind me of some long ago indiscretion. But that's part of living in Salvador. It's one of the charms of Salvador, actually. The past is never the past. Or didn't William Faulkner say something to that effect? The past isn't the past. I can't remember the exact quote, but that's what it's like living here long term in Salvador. Baianos never forget. So that is why I don't come to this neighborhood, Porto de Barra, very often. Well, I wouldn't say I don't come here. I do walk along this seafront most afternoons around sunset, but I don't ever sit on the beach I don't hang out here. I don't meet up with people here. I do that around several blocks further along on the Farol lighthouse side of Baja. It's just I guess too evocative, too rich for my blood, too full of memories, both some of my best memories and a few of my painful memories. And so I only can take this neighborhood in limited doses. Since I moved back, I have sat on this beach a couple of times, but what happens is I get swamped with people from my past who, in very limited doses, that's okay, but not for a prolonged period. There's some things I don't want to be reminded of, some things I don't really want to remember, and certainly there are some people I don't want to remember, and I don't want to. And if I sit here for too long, their ghosts are brought back to life by the locals who never ever forget. So I just walk through here and then walk back. I'm walking back towards my neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is called Barra, B-A-R-R-A. Sorry about that. Always lots of music here. But I divided it into two sides. This is the Porto de Barra, Baja Port, and I live in the Farol de Barra, Baja Lighthouse side. And that's the difference. There is the fort, the sun. Oh, look at that sunset. It really is an incredible sunset. There's nothing like it. As I said, named one of the 10 best urban beaches in the world by the British newspaper The Guardian. And it really is. People walking their dogs, people jogging, people watching. It is, look how busy the bars and restaurants are on the other side of the street. It is Friday, late Friday afternoon, so there are a lot more people out right now, getting ready to start their weekend than there would be on a weekday. On weekends, this beach, this neighborhood is really packed. And that's one of those, rental bikes that you just wave your phone at. I got to try it again. I did it for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't been on the damn thing for more than 5 seconds, and I crashed face first into the cement, into the sidewalk. Scraped the hell out of my knee and bruised my backside, and it was painful as hell. And I quickly put the bike back. And for some reason, though, I didn't get charged. I don't know if somehow the bike felt sorry for me. I was able to rent it through my Uber account, but the charge never showed up on my Uber, so on my Uber credit. So maybe it was a way to entice me to start using the rental bikes, and maybe they had some offer where the first time you use it was free, but it was not a good introduction. I crashed, but I'm going to try it again in about a week. I'm healed now from my scrapes and bruises, and what I'm going to do is be a lot more careful. I just grabbed the bike. I hadn't been on a bicycle for years, and I just grabbed the bike and got on it, and the bike was shaky. The handlebar was shaky, but the worst thing was the seat was way, way too high for me, and that was the reason I very quickly crashed. I later looked at the damn thing when I returned it, and I realized you can adjust the seat height. So the second time I rent one, I hope it'll be more successful, because it is good exercise, I'm going to take a moment to look at the bike, adjust the seat so I'm not seated on it so precariously as I was. And look at that sunset. Oh my God. There it goes. Ciao. Ciao Sol. And hopefully I can start riding bikes more often. Now there in the distance you can see the Farol, the lighthouse, and that's the neighborhood that I live in. Not far away, but it's a little bit different there. So now I've reached the Farol, the lighthouse side, closer to my neighborhood, and there it is. And if you can see over there, there's lots and lots of people climbing up towards the lighthouse and around. They've been watching the sunset. The sun has gone down now, but during Carnival, this place is wild. This is pretty much where one of the Carnival routes starts. Right in front of this white building here. It's a very famous building, built in the 1940s, and some famous Brazilian musicians, among other people, live in that building. Very exclusive and fabulous views, as you can imagine. And also, besides Carnival, throughout the year, there are concerts right here in this plaza, right in front of the lighthouse, again with some of Brazil's biggest music stars, and it gets packed with people, and it's just a few blocks from my apartment. So I really am right in the middle of the action here. Carnival passes a block and a half. The Carnival route passes a block and a half from my apartment, and that is a wild week. Carnival, oh boy, that deserves a video all by itself when that comes around February. But just to say, I've now developed at this stage of my life a love-hate relationship with it. When I was younger, it was pure love. Couldn't wait. Went out there, dived in, and wanted to be out there every single day. Now, as I approach 70, I still love it. I love the idea of it, but I don't have the energy for it anymore, and I don't have the patience for it anymore, or the tolerance. Besides all the obvious wonderful things like the music and the energy, there's also negative things, especially for people who live here permanently full-time. Some soteropolitanos, as people from Salvador are called, actually leave Salvador during Carnival because they can't take the madness. What happens is the streets get absolutely filthy, rivers of urine, trash, your feet are stepped on constantly, the noise is deafening, you can't sleep at night, it's hot as hell, etc., etc. So we'll talk more about Carnival when it happens, but it definitely happens right here. There are, I believe, 3 or 4 different Carnival routes in the city, and this is one of the main ones, right here in my neighborhood. And everybody should experience Carnival in Brazil at least once in your life. It's like taking LSD. It's unique, once in a lifetime experience, and even the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th times are fabulous. But you know, when you reach 70, boy, it's a little difficult. But I'm not going to badmouth Carnival. Never. This city depends on Carnival. So, come and experience Carnival in Brazil. And preferably in Salvador, not Rio de Janeiro. And so, a few blocks more, and we'll be almost to my apartment. This is definitely a place I walk every single day along this beachfront. And there, of course, is the famous Porto de Barra Lighthouse. The sun is setting, so it's going to get dark very soon. So I'm going to say boa noite, good night to you all. Beijo, kisses, ciao ciao.